Hey guys, it's Chriselle, and I decided to do an old school record from the floor on my phone video, mostly because it's been really hard to focus and concentrate for a while. I think we're all feeling that way. I think, unless you're like hiding under a rock, you are seeing everything that's going on in the world, both, with the pandemic and civil rights movements and everything. And it's a lot happening right now. And it hasn't felt relevant to come on here and really talk about myself. It's felt kind of like pointless. So I did want to come on and just do a quick update just for the sake of posterity, for the sake of like checking in after my last video where I was obviously going through a bit of depression. I was going through some personal stuff. One of my pets had just passed away, and I was dealing with just, like the personal overwhelm of dealing with family and my own health issues and just the reality of what's going on, and just trying to come to terms with, I guess, our mortality, as dramatic as that sounds. So I decided to just hop on here. There's going to be noise, there's going to be sounds in the background because it's really hot and I have a fan blowing and my cat is jingling. So it just is what it is. But I just wanted to hop on and kind of like check in. I had originally had plans at the start of 2020 to do like a few series that I had been thinking about, just some stuff that I had been, focusing on as far as like minimalism and goals for my life and writing and stuff. And let's just say that minimalism is out the window. Like that is a philosophy and a concept that is completely not a goal for me right now. I have actually probably brought more stuff into my life in terms of just stocking things than I have in the past before. I live in a hurricane prone state, and having a steady supply of non-perishables is kind of a big deal for me right now because I'm not looking forward to being in lines in the middle of a pandemic. So my apartment is tiny. It doesn't really have space for stocking stuff. And that's why I adopted a minimalist lifestyle for the most part, like stuff behind me notwithstanding. But I just, I'm not here for it right now. I am living with what I have. I'm using up what I have, but I also am stocking the stuff that I know I will need so that I don't have to go out into public and buy it. And I think there's a cat going to the litter box right now, so you might hear that. It's just gonna go on. So I have been struggling, just with like that sort of mentality of like changing my philosophy of life and where things are going, and dealing with my own what's going on, what's going to happen in the future, goals and stuff like that. Like there are days when having goals seems completely pointless because what if we're not alive to see them? And that seems super dramatic, but also realistic. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. So right now I barely know what's going to happen in 1 month. I'm just kind of trying to figure it all out, and that has actually affected my ability to write significantly. I started 2020 with all these lofty goals. I had put my previous manuscript kind of like on the shelf temporarily for now, the one that I had been querying, that I had been working on for the last several years, like significantly, in order to bring into a querying state. I had planned to actually go back and rewrite that. I had a amorphous blob of an idea for where that project would go. She's at it again. And that is currently on hold. The other project I was working on is in the works, but taking significantly longer than it would have normally because I just am having a hard time focusing. There she is. There she is. I'm having a hard time, just concentrating and finding the energy to actually get into writing. It's really difficult. Anyone who tells you to write, like some sort of masterpiece in quarantine, it should just like go away. Like that's just not gonna happen. I am doing my best. I am trying to keep momentum, but let's face it, I wrote a very angsty contemporary romance novel that I am editing, and right now I'm not totally here for getting into an angsty mindset because I'm angsty enough as it is. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with. I'm just trying to work from home and not end up in a puddle of depression because I live alone and it gets lonely, and, not being able to see relatives, not being able to see my family, staying away on purpose because I don't want to hurt them, infect them or anything. And it's just been tough. So if you've been going through something similar, I feel ya. Feel free to drop in the comments how you're doing, and I'll check in with you guys later. So have a good one.